Welcome to our CFP exam prep discussion. Today we're diving deep into correlation coefficients, a crucial concept that frequently appears on the exam and is fundamental to portfolio management. Let's break down what correlation coefficient really means. When we talk about correlation in investments, we're measuring how two investments move in relation to each other, with values ranging from +1 to -1. A correlation of +1 means the assets move in perfect harmony, -1 means they move in exactly opposite directions, and 0 indicates no relationship at all. Understanding correlation is absolutely essential for diversification, but many candidates make the mistake of thinking correlation and causation are the same thing. Just because two assets have moved together historically doesn't mean one causes the other to move. For example, ice cream sales and drowning incidents might have a high positive correlation because they both increase in summer months, but clearly, one doesn't cause the other. Here's where candidates often trip up on the exam. They see a correlation of -0.5 between two assets and incorrectly assume this means one asset always goes up when the other goes down. The reality is more nuanced. A -0.5 correlation simply means there's a moderate tendency for the assets to move in opposite directions, but this relationship isn't perfect or guaranteed. Another common mistake is misinterpreting zero correlation. Some candidates think zero correlation means the assets have no value for diversification. Actually, assets with zero correlation can be excellent diversifiers because they move completely independently of each other. This independence can significantly reduce portfolio risk. Let's work through a practical example you might see on the exam. Consider U.S. large cap stocks and emerging market bonds. If these assets have a correlation of zero point 0.3, what does this tell us? It indicates a weak positive relationship. When U.S. stocks go up, emerging market bonds might tend to go up slightly too, but the relationship is loose enough that these assets can still provide meaningful diversification benefits. The exam might also test your understanding of how correlations change over time. During market stress, correlations often increase, meaning assets tend to move more in sync. This is sometimes called correlation convergence. Many candidates forget to consider this dynamic nature of correlations when answering questions about portfolio risk management. Here's a key point to remember for the exam. Correlation coefficients help us understand the direction of movement between assets, but they don't tell us anything about the magnitude of those movements. That's where standard deviation and other risk measures come into play. When studying correlation for the exam, focus on understanding how different market conditions affect correlations between various asset classes. Traditional stock-bond correlations, for instance, can shift dramatically during periods of high inflation or changing interest rate environments. The best way to master this concept is to practice calculating and interpreting correlation coefficients with different scenarios. Remember that the exam isn't just testing your ability to recognize correlation values. It's testing your understanding of how correlation affects portfolio risk and your ability to apply this knowledge in practical portfolio management situations. Keep in mind that correlation is just one tool in the diversification toolbox. The exam will expect you to understand how correlation works alongside other concepts like standard deviation, beta, and modern portfolio theory to create well-diversified portfolios that align with client objectives.